Welcome to another episode of 41 Monstrosity Avenue podcast. I'm your hostess, Megan, with your host, Kenneth. Let's get started.
And here we go. Hi, welcome back. After a long hiatus, we are 41 Monstrosity Avenue podcast.
Good job. You got through the entire name.
The first try.
The first try.
I did it. First try, one name.
So yeah, if you just listened to the new intro, this is Megan, formerly the Sign Lady.
Sign Lady.
And Kenneth sitting here. There's just two of us today, which is easier because we live together.
Yes, it's very easy.
We know each other's schedules. And also, I don't have to do dishes after every podcast anymore.
Haha. It's easier this way. We still will have guests occasionally that'll come on by.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, and now we have our own mic.
Separate mics.
Separate, but the same.
Keep your bronchitis over there.
I don't have any bronchitis.
But if you did, I wouldn't get it from your microphone.
That's true.
Because we wouldn't be sharing.
You know, social distancing.
We just get it from making out. It's fine.
Now, has it not been a crazy, year and a half?
Oh my god, it's been awful.
Yeah, everywhere it's just been terrible.
It has been.
I hate it. I hate it. Everything closed. World ended, it feels like.
You know what? Those of us who are introverts, we just kind of sat back and we're like, all those conspiracy theories that we had about human behavior, guess what? We were right.
Very true. Very true.
Also, everyone now knows how to make sourdough bread. A lot of people learned how to garden, how to knit, make their own socks.
People have learned to work on their own cars.
Right?
That's
cut their own
thing.
hair.
Cut their own grass.
Yeah.
I knew somebody that never cut grass in their life, and all of a sudden they're cutting grass.
People learned life skills.
It's kind of awesome.
Not to be dark and morbid, but a lot of people learned self-defense, how to use siege tactics.
One of the oddest things. For
Shield
social
walls.
distancing, but I need siege tactics. Breaking and entering at 6-foot range.
Just a ton of people watched Vikings. No, not Vikings. What's it called? The show I watch for the hot guys.
I have no idea.
About Vikings.
I have no idea. You watch a lot of them.
It's on Netflix.
Doesn't narrow it down.
You're right.
There's Norsemen.
No, Norsemen is...
That's the comedy
That's
one.
the comedy
that
one.
That one's awesome. I don't even know if I'm allowed to actually say the name, but I'm doing it.
We're not copyrighted.
Come after me.
No one sponsors us.
Come after me. And normally I would talk something sweet and dear to my heart called Dr. K, but I have given up soda. So now...
Oh my gosh, you gave up soda.
Yes.
We can't do the Dr. K.
Can't do the Dr. K sponsorship. I would love to, but it was...
Love to, but
it was
can't.
better this way. And I'd love to, but can't. Love to. So now, I need whoever's listening out there and to give me some options on water choices. I'm going to decide to become a water snob. And I don't support, big drilling for water. And I call it big drilling because it is a big business. $1 billion a year for water. Last time I checked. That is a ridiculous assumption when people don't have water. But I'm going to drink some right now.
For a podcast about weird stuff, this is...
so good.
This is very normal.
It is very normal, but, you have the card and you have the subjects.
I do all the research now because it only takes me about 15 minutes to do research compared to...
The hours?
The hours.
Yeah, and it was hours to find different things. Now it's easy.
I'm just used to it. I had to do a lot of research in college, so I know where to look.
And the scheduling. When you got 6 people in a room,
Oh, yeah.
Everybody had, a different part, and then, nobody was serious.
That was kind of the point, though.
Yeah, but it's kind of hard to, schedule, a talking episode without, some kind of... serious aspect to it. We're all just dying of laughter the whole time.
Yeah, that's where I came into play, the Sign Lady. For those of you that don't know, my entire role was to keep everyone on track,
Yep.
to make sure people did not chew gum or text.
She'd wave a sign in the background.
I had a sign in the background, one that I'm pretty sure had an unhappy face, one that had a happy face. And then I was constantly doing research during the podcast to fill in the blanks for things that people did not know.
And the occasional, you're off topic.
The off topic, that we had the swearometer for a while, and then we got
Yes.
a mature rating, and so
iTunes came after me.
So we just chucked that right in the bucket.
Yeah, I was all like, I'm good. We're just going to embrace this.
Embrace it.
So, you know, that
Anyway.
was a hard swallow.
I am going to off topic myself. So today's subject is an oldie but a goodie. We're talking about cryptids.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone loves cryptids. Everyone would like to be a cryptid,
That'd be dope.
right? To just be just some magical, mythical creature out in the woods.
I really don't want to be the chupacabra, though. Like, if it is that little mangy dog thing,
I know, they look so sad.
they look gross.
They supposedly they feed on goat blood.
Mm-hmm. Little
The-
piercings.
Chupacabra means goat sucker.
Eh.
For those of you that don't know, we formerly lived in Texas.
Yep.
And lived, like 30 miles? Where was Cuero from Victoria?
30 miles.
30 miles from
Where they found it.
the very famous, now famous sighting of the Chupacabra. And the lady who said that
Chupacabra.
she found one
Put it in her freezer.
dead. Yeah, she put it in her freezer.
That's the most Texas thing ever. You know, I found this mythological creature. Threw it in my freezer.
But she did that to preserve the specimen, and now
Smart.
people all over the world will petition for tissue samples
Yep.
of this particular creature. She won't. I don't think she'll let them see it. She'll just send the tissue
Well, they
sample.
showed video of it, her pulling it out of a freezer and everything.
Oh,
That was
God.
on like a History Channel thing, I'm pretty sure.
I'm sure it was.
Yeah, there always is. They're so great.
Monster Quest. That was
Monster
the name.
Quest.
They do.
Don't come after me, History Channel. Don't come after us. We respect you.
We do respect the History Channel,
We do.
especially in October,
That's true.
and the Travel Channel during October.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the best.
Fire. So
You
good.
got those haunted attraction shows, and they go back to the 90s.
Oh, God.
Some
Yep,
of those haunted
I remember
houses
that.
don't even exist anymore.
Nope. And they still play it every year. Wonder how many
that one would have been cool. Oh, that one would have been nice. Oh my gosh, how many are not going to survive
Oh.
this year, right?
Oh.
Transworld happened.
Yeah. Yeah. Barely.
Yeah.
Everybody said it was barely.
People have reservations still. Transworld is fantastic.
Yeah.
That is an experience. If you work in the haunted house industry at all on any facet,
You should go.
go to Transworld. Sometimes there's a little bit of a controversy just because of, some people's behaviors.
And it was made for buying.
Yeah, it's made for buying. It's
Yeah.
not a pay-as-you-go show. You can't come home with a back seat full of small props.
Yeah.
It's like you're going to spend a lot of money if you go.
Mm-hmm.
Or there's tons of people that go just for the inspiration.
Well, there's classes and...
Oh,
you know,
yeah, there's classes.
That's what most people will go for. But really, it was designed for haunted house owners to come and buy their props.
And they're massive.
And give good, inspirations.
There are so many talented, incredible people who work in the haunted house industry.
Mm-hmm.
And despite what people think, people who work in the haunted house industry are usually the happiest people.
Usually. Because
you work in an environment where you get to scare the shit out of people. Normal people don't get the opportunity to use all that pent up rage to scare people.
It's true.
It's therapy.
Can be. I mean, some people just like to do it. They like the season. But then some people, it's more therapy. I think it just depends on what level and facet you're doing it under.
Yeah.
Because, there's some people that go that don't scare anybody. They're a ticket booth holder.
Yeah.
They won't go step foot in a haunted house, and yet they'll take the tickets.
Haunted houses become like small misfit families.
Yes.
There's always the grumpy old guy.
Mm-hmm.
There's always the grumpy old guy's mom.
Sometimes.
Well, it doesn't necessarily have to be his mom, but she's going to act like
it's a motherly
his
figure.
Yes. And then there's the haunt mom, who is the haunt mother for all of the characters.
Mm-hmm.
She's going to bring baked goods. She always knows what the first aid kit is.
Yep.
She's the one that advocates for the pizza parties.
Yep.
Always.
The pizza parties are the best.
Yes.
Not like being in the dark, munching on some pepperoni and you didn't realize someone's going to walk by. So you're just like, want some? It's usually how it goes.
Oh, God.
But anyways, back to cryptids.
Cryptids! Okay, so I have compiled a list of some uncommon cryptids, and some of them are actually from the state, which is my home state, that we currently live in, which is Indiana. What are you going to say, but so creepy?
Indiana. Because every TV show shows Indiana as creepy.
I mean, you're right. Supernatural... There were so many Indiana supernatural episodes.
Indiana.
It's the cornfields, isn't it?
Corn.
The cornfields and the covered bridges.
You seen how tall people get here? Growth hormone.
In the corn.
Giant.
And the soybeans.
They're giants.
The beans.
Beans. Diabetes.
Okay, so... The first one we're going to talk about is absolutely strange. This one is out of Loveland, Ohio. These are the Loveland Frogmen.
I forgot about that one. I love it.
Okay, whatever image you have,
I see frog and toad.
Okay, you're right. It's right there.
Mm-hmm.
It's
delicious
right there.
water.
Half frog, half man.
Yes.
Reported to wield sticks as tools that emit sparks.
What?
They're presumed to not necessarily be some like radioactive mess up as much as they are like magical frogmen creatures.
What the heck is making the sparks and why do they need them?
Magic.
What do they need them for?
I don't know. Harry Potter, I'm not sure.
That doesn't make any sense.
Listen, when I looked up the description for this, there was an illustration of a...
They have butt cheeks. Because some frogs have butt cheeks. Have you seen that? It's the
I've
most
seen
adorable thing ever. Tiniest butt cheeks ever. Like, when they stand up, it's like, oh, look at them butt cheeks.
They're just so little
They're
and cute.
obese and butt cheeks.
Like they got massive hips and a tiny butt. Okay, so I don't know. The illustration that I saw was the front side, not the back side. And it was like man feet.
Mm-hmm.
But like, you know how frogs, like, you don't really see that much of a difference between the bottom of the leg and the top of the leg?
Mm-hmm.
There wasn't really a knee. There's just a bend. So man feet, frog legs, frog torso, man hands, frog neck and head. So like there's like the no neck and then just all head.
Doesn't seem like there'd be a purpose to have man hands.
You gotta hold the sticks.
I'm pretty sure a frog could hold a stick.
And the thing is, these were seen on the sides of lakes, bodies of water, ponds. You cannot mistake.
You sure that these weren't just scuba divers?
I don't know. The first,
When was the first sighting?
1943.
Scuba divers?
I don't.
Something that
scuba divers in 1943. Didn't they still have the big metallic things?
I don't know. We don't do that much research.
I didn't do enough research.
We don't do that kind of research.
I didn't
here.
prepare for the scuba diver thing.
That's up to the viewers to, decide.
So, sticks with sparks, would that be welding equipment?
Could be.
Could be.
Like arc welding, I think it is. Like where they... yeah, because when they weld underwater, they have like that big stick. And it's like...
I'm so sorry, Loveland, Ohio. We have probably just cracked open your cryptid case.
But it explains the man hands. And if they have flippers, that would explain the feet.
No, it said it had man feet. I mean that could just be that he didn't have his flipper feet on.
Well, they have like the big boots if it's the old school.
Okay, so the Loveland frog.
I'm saying scuba diver welders.
Okay. We get people from Loveland, Ohio to come after us for their beloved frogmen.
And where is Loveland, Ohio?
I don't know. It's
is
in
that
Ohio.
in the middle of nowhere?
Listen, Ohio is at least 4 hours away from us. If we post this right now, we have a good 5 hours to prepare for the Loveland Frogman protest on our front lawn.
That's not happening. That was the loudest drinking ever. Yes. That was unnecessarily loud.
That was the tea on the frogman. Okay, next one is Wisconsin. This is the
Nothing
beast.
Good happens there.
The Beast of Bray Road, and I've actually.
Oh, okay, that's dope.
I've actually read of this one before.
They made a movie on it, sci-fi.
That doesn't surprise me. They've made a movie on.
It's ridiculous, but it's so good.
Sharktopus. I'm sure there's like cyber robot attack dogs.
I doubt it, but that might be the new one.
Oh god, sci-fi.
Sand.
Sand. Oh my god, I did see the one about the sand.
Yeah.
Like you touch the sand, it sucks you in.
Yeah, the worms, and then at the end, it's this giant creature worm thing.
Oh my god, spoiler alert.
Oh well.
Okay, so this one's Elkhorn, Wisconsin. Beast of Bray Road. It is a dog-like humanoid.
Dope.
And it specifically says that it is dog-like, not wolf-like.
Okay.
So, and this was first reported in 1935.
Wow.
So, one of the defining features of this one is...
If it's a one-off creature, let's say it's just one off.
Right.
You know, something happened and it created this beast thing. Odds are it's dead.
Right. 1935. It's probably gone.
And so...
Otherwise, it would be, what? Almost 100 years old now.
Yeah, almost. There's no way it'd be alive. Especially if it's a type of dog.
Right?
So...
In dog years, it'd be... Oh my gosh, it'd be almost 700 years old.
Dust?
It would be dust. So yeah, one of the main features on this one is that it did not have wolf-like features. It had dog-like features. And one of those was the floppy ears. Not pointy, not intimidating. Floppy ears.
I wonder if this is just like a big breed of dog.
I don't know. Anytime it says humanoid, I'm always going to assume it can stand up on its back feet and like walk like a human.
I would say that's a good description.
Right?
Yeah.
That would have to be human-like. It would be walking.
And that's the odd part is like, are people still seeing that?
I don't know.
Like, if they're still seeing it, that means there was more than just one.
Yeah. Then there's tiny beasts.
But have you seen how big some wolves can get?
I know.
You could easily...
But if the description specifically says, not wolf-like, dog-like.
I mean, what's the difference of a wolf and a dog with a German Shepherd?
That's true, but I would like to assume that this is a basset hound human. Like,
I don't think that can happen, but it's funny.
Right? Like, I feel like it's got these big floppy ears and this big protruding nose.
And everybody's scared and it's just like, oh boy!
And it's just going after my food. Like, he's just sitting on the side of your picnic. And he just really wants a cookie.
He wants peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
And he can smell it.
And they drool.
You can't hide it.
They drool.
Oh, gross.
I remember that one we had. He used to fling spit across the room.
That's so gross.
Something they don't tell you when you're getting them.
You know what is the worst about having those kinds of dogs, though? Is not realizing it's on you until you leave the house. And then, finding it when you're out, and someone's like, ew, what is that? And you're like,
that's my dog drool.
Don't touch it, don't touch it.
Looks left, looks right, looks left. Dog drool.
Dog drool. Gross.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's nasty. And it stinks. I remember it, like, the slobber stinking.
Just imagine a cryptid just based on dog drool.
Next monster. I'm done.
I'm making you nauseous.
Big floppy doggy. Got it.
Okay. Okay, the next one is one of the Indiana ones. From Churubusco, Indiana.
Okay, now that's gotta be a small town.
Right? I'm from Indiana.
Never heard
I've
of
lived
that.
here almost all of my life.
So one of those dead towns?
I don't know. It's got a lake.
There's
a Churubusco Lake.
Weird thing about Indiana I've been actually looking at is there are so many dead but alive small towns. Like,
Yeah, like
you could have a post office in another building and someone lives in it.
Yeah, if you are a township, you got to have 400 people.
Sometimes there's not even that.
Yeah.
Like, one of them had 4 people.
These tiny little towns refuse to die. And I love them. I prefer to live in the smaller towns. But you can drive through something and see a small rectangular side road sign. And
that's the town.
And that's the town.
Mm-hmm.
We don't live that far from this tiny little township called Ashboro.
Oh, yeah.
I was not even aware that Ashboro was a place until one day I was looking out the window as a passenger, and I'm like, what is that small sign? And it's maybe a foot across.
Maybe.
And
I don't even think it's that big.
it blends in with the trees.
Yeah, it's
And I'm
literally
like, what's
nothing.
Ashboro? And someone was with me, and they're like, oh, that's the town we're in.
Maybe that's why
Where?
people...
By the time I got done asking the question, we were done driving through it.
That's got to be why people pick Indiana to do all the weird stuff.
You don't
Like
know
TV shows
you're even
and-
in a town.
Most of the time you don't in Indiana.
Yeah.
That's why Terre Haute and Indy, it's like, oh, wow, it's big. And then you go everywhere else and you're like, what happened?
Well, okay. Just driving.
Bloomington's decent.
Yeah, Bloomington is cool.
Yeah.
It's hip.
Yep, yeah.
Hipsters.
Yep, yeah.
So, just driving between Terre Haute and Brazil,
avocado
Indiana.
mocha.
Which, yes, we have a place called Brazil, Indiana.
Yep.
Don't knock it. You have
Not
a
that
right
bad.
to.
It's nice.
Now, listen.
Little town. It's all right.
So in between, if you are from somewhere else, you're like, I'm driving from Terre Haute to Brazil. You're like, that's it. That's all there is.
Yeah.
False. Between Terre Haute and Brazil, you drive through East Glen, Sealyville,
Yep.
Cloverdale, and Staunton
Yes. Staunton is nothing.
before you get to Brazil. No, here's the thing. You go down a side road. Staunton is actually not the flashers. Yes, there's just flashers. Staunton is like a small little, what looks like a blown up subdivision, like an oversized subdivision with an elementary school.
Why?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Why?
But it has its own post office.
Awful.
And that's what I'm saying. And each one of these little towns has something that they're famous for. Staunton, Indiana used to have, sadly I have to say used to have, this place that was called 100 Steps. What it was a cemetery that was on a hill that used to have these very old steps, and there were
Mind you, it was very pretty.
it was beautiful. We had been there.
I am so happy with what they've done with that.
So what the legend was, you climbed up the steps, you counted as you went, and when you got to 99, you closed your eyes and you took the 100th step. You turned around and you would see a vision of your own death. Now, the reason why people would go up there and say they got different numbers was the stairs were just absolutely falling apart.
And when you actually took the last step to get up there, it's a step you couldn't take back down.
It didn't exist.
It didn't exist. So it automatically made it different.
Like, it wasn't actually another step.
There's nothing spooky about that place.
It was just the angle of the hill meant going upward, you had to take an extra step.
Mm-hmm.
Going downward, it didn't exist.
Yeah.
So, another reason was most people who went up there to do the counting, they were intoxicated or high.
Mm-hmm.
So, you just walked up 100 stairs and turned around drunk. Yeah, you're probably going to see a vision
Or you're gonna fall.
of your death because you are out of breath
And those stairs were steep.
and incredibly dizzy. But there was so much vandalism that kept happening. They tore out all of the stairs. All of the steps are gone. They have replaced the steps now with very nice cement steps.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they have.
Wow.
It's very nice. But
And then they put that gate around it,
they did. They put a gate
Yeah.
around it.
which makes it look nicer.
It does. It looks more professional. I think part of the reason why people would continuously go out there is because they assumed it was abandoned.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, and at the time it was.
My mom told me stories about going out there as a high schooler, and she graduated and I'm not going to say because
Forever.
Yeah. There might be a song about it by Bowling for Soup.
Well, I heard the story of the velociraptor around the area, but I can't confirm that.
But yeah, Beast of Busco is an alligator snapping turtle supposedly living in Churubusco Lake.
Okay.
Now, that's
believable.
That's believable. Alligator snapping turtles have been here as long as dinosaurs.
I have seen them things get huge.
Oh, they're terrifying.
Huge.
And the warning that people are given every single time you talk about alligator snapping turtles is that they'll bite your toes off.
Probably would if they're big enough.
They think that's a worm.
Little nuggies.
Toe nuggies.
They're nuggies to them.
Oh, look, you brought me a treat. It's a little toe nuggie.
Why is this one so different, though?
Okay, so the Beast of Busco apparently is the size of a Volkswagen Beetle.
Oh.
And specifically when you look up information, almost all of the accounts bring up that it's very sneaky.
Turtles are.
Can you imagine being snuck up on and you
turn around?
You turn around and there's a turtle the size of a Volkswagen Beetle.
Nah.
How would that sneak up on you?
I mean, how does like a 27-foot crocodile?
They look like logs and you're in their environment.
Turtles look like rocks and they grow things on them.
That's true. If he's big enough to be the Volkswagen Beetle
You'd
size,
think he's a giant boulder.
He's probably got moss and stuff all over him.
Yeah.
He probably looks like the turtle from the Never-Ending
My
Story.
thing is, how big is this lake?
That I don't know. But it has to be sizable if it's classified as a lake and not a pond.
I was going to say, you have to be able to have enough food in there to support a creature that size.
Right?
How much food would that eat?
All of it. I feel like it would eat all
everything.
of it. Would it be a cannibal?
It would have to eat everything and anything it could.
And it would have to be a male because if you found
a female of that,
yeah,
that would be.
Wouldn't the eggs be like
bigger.
the size of volleyballs?
I don't know, because it's weird. Because some animals, they can be huge, and the eggs still stay small because of like biological reasons. You know what I mean? The eggs can't get much bigger. But then you got ostriches.
Right.
Look at that egg.
I have always wondered what an ostrich egg tastes like.
Turtle eggs are soft, aren't they?
Yes.
So maybe it would be bigger. But dude, a den for that thing would be enormous.
Massive,
It would have to be a male. Someone would find the den. But turtles are deceivingly fast. I watched a TikTok of a turtle that he is his pet, and it was digging a den, and that thing was gone in like a second. This is the one. That's believable.
That
now do I think it's dramatized that it's a Volkswagen?
I believe it is possible because I've seen giant tortoises. Mm-hmm. But do I think it's possible in the state of Indiana?
No.
Absolutely not.
No. And then the winter it freezes.
Right? Well,
Where's it go?
Under the water. If it broke the surface, it would break the whole lake.
Wait. Does it freeze?
I don't know.
Some lakes don't freeze.
I don't know. I don't have enough answers.
Because sometimes it doesn't get cold enough here to like actually freeze.
Okay, so we're gonna move on. I'm gonna hope that one day I drive through Churubusco, Indiana, and I just see that the mayor lives in a giant turtle shell.
My God.
Right?
Or a hobbit hole.
A hobbit hole.
I want a hobbit hole.
Right? But it happens to be the turtle shell.
We need that.
So, okay, so I'm gonna skip over this next one because it's your favorite, and we're gonna talk about it last. So we're gonna go straight to the skunk ape. Okay, so the skunk ape is out of Florida, Louisiana, South Georgia, anywhere that's swampy. Swamp. The skunk ape has matted black fur. It is bipedal, which for those of you who don't know, that means it sleeps with both Mothman and Bigfoot. I'm kidding. Bipedal means that it walks on 2 legs rather than 4 legs.
That's tea parties every other Friday.
Tea parties on Fridays. It is a swamp creature, as I said. Specifically, that's important because it's not a forest dweller.
Which is odd.
It apparently it would be in the Bigfoot category. The Sasquatch
it's a Bigfoot.
family
It just
member,
lives in the swamp.
right? But it's black matted fur instead of like the brown. I mean, like the Peterson footage. That was a black creature, right?
No, brown.
Was it brown?
It's brown.
Okay. And this one, it's called a skunk ape
Patterson.
for a specific. What did I say?
Peterson.
Forgive me.
Patterson.
Cryptid gods, please forgive me.
Patterson. And I don't know.
Patterson.
I don't think the Bigfoot, but there's lots of stories, but
Do you not believe in Bigfoot?
I don't know. It's a thing that we have cut so much and been in so much that it would only be able to be in a certain few areas that we haven't been able to see it.
But what if it's not? What if Bigfoot is not a Bigfoot? What if Bigfoot is a spiritual creature and not a physical creature?
Now, see, I've heard the theory that Bigfoot teleports.
Right?
That it has the ability to teleport, which would make sense.
Mm-hmm.
But was like that Patterson footage, if that is a real Bigfoot and not someone in a costume, like one of the apparently founders of the footage claims, would that mean he's breaking some kind of code?
Because he was
Or
seen.
she?
Yeah.
Some claim it's a female.
Yeah, I've watched that footage, and I watched one critique of it, and they're like, there's breast tissue.
Yeah. But
Mama has boobs.
yeah. So it's
Right?
it's such a touchy subject because it's something I would love it to be real.
I would love for
That would
to
be
real.
awesome if Bigfoot was real. But we've cut so much and like been in so much, and people have explored. And yes, they say they find hair samples and
And the feet samples.
But the problem is, how do you get a DNA sample of something that's not registered in a DNA category?
Right. They can tell you the family it lives in.
Cool. All right.
I don't even trust the footprints anymore. Anything
No.
that's found nowadays.
I trust the old ones.
I can go on Amazon right now and
find
type in Bigfoot impression shoes. And I can buy shoes with the Bigfoot impression on the bottom, and I can walk through the snow, and you would swear that a Bigfoot just walked through the snow. So, I don't know. I just don't trust any new evidence whatsoever.
Neither do I.
So, back to the skunk ape. The reason why the skunk ape,
Skull.
skunk ape.
This is Cool
Not-
Jazz 97 with
Not-
School Inc. Funkmaster G.
So the reason
Bringing you back that track of Bigfoot walking through the sand. Hit that track.
Okay, back to the skunk ape. Not the ape I was trying to talk about. The reason why they have that
Skull Inc.
horrible name is because they are smelled before they are seen. And it smells like
He lives in the water.
a pack of skunks.
He can't bathe?
I don't know. He lives in the swamp.
Maybe he's got like a butt gland like a dog.
Why he smells so bad? Yeast infections.
You ever smelled me in a hot summer day?
I have. You
Don't
don't.
question it.
You don't smell like a skunk though.
No.
Here's the thing. He's got red glowing eyes, which is very Mothman-like.
Yeah.
So did Mothman just go down to the glades and lose his wings?
Going down the glades to have myself a ball. Oh, God.
I mean, Mothman's from Virginia, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's not that. I mean, once upon a time, Virginia was considered the deep south, and then we got more states. And now it's just yeah, we're kind of southern.
There.
We're kind of southern.
About halfway.
Yeah, Appalachia. Did the Appalachians have their own Bigfoot?
I don't know. I'm going to guess.
The Appalachian
It would
Yeti,
all be the same species.
right? Did they have
There's no way
accents?
it's different species.
Do Sasquatches
No, they don't
have
their own
accents?
accents.
You can't convince me now.
Knock, knock.
Yes, they knock on the trees different.
What is that? Knock!
Knock twice on the tree if you are my cousin.
Knock 3 times if you're sassy. I'm in love, Harold.
Sassy the Sasquatch.
I heard my second cousin was a Sasquatch. Turns out he's just real ugly.
Oh my god. I'll believe it. So yeah, we've got, there's Bigfoot, there's the Yeti, I assume the abominable snowman.
Dude, that one
is the Yeti,
That
right?
one's freaky, though.
And then we've got the deep south skunk ape.
Stinky. I think it's just stinky because of the moss.
Stinky.
You ever been in, like, swampland? It stinks.
Yeah, it's the algae though, right?
Yeah, and it's just the funguses.
And skunks listen, go on our Facebook and tell me.
Skunks don't stink.
Do
except
skunks
their glands when they spray?
Do skunks live in the bayou? Do they? Nutria are in the bayou.
Dude,
alligators are in the bayou.
Yeah.
Snakes, herons. I think some otters, maybe, when you get towards the Gulf.
Maybe.
But I don't think there are actually skunks. I think skunks live in woodlands. So why would it smell like skunk?
I think it was just a similar smell. Which makes me think, like, maybe it has, the butt gland like a dog.
Yeah, just
stinky.
Just get away from me. I'll spray you.
Or maybe it's farting, throwing poop at them.
That's so gross.
Well,
that is so gross.
You ever been to the zoo?
I have.
I've seen them throw poop.
I have seen that too.
Usually you want to go away after that happens.
I don't even want to be there at the moment.
So bad.
Okay, so speaking of cryptids, our small cat Wednesday Adams has decided.
Our special needs cat.
She was our special needs cat. She's decided to join the podcast.
Yeah, apparently she wanted to have her input in this.
She's about half the size of a regular cat, and she has no tail. It is all spiraled up. She doesn't have the spinal cord to actually support it. And when she runs kind of wonky, kind of sideways.
We get 2 microphones and we upgrade to have cat noises.
The cat noises.
We're in the wrong business.
Are coming to you free. Friskies, please sponsor us.
Pretty sure you heard the other one in the background also.
Yeah.
It's okay though. Just know they're adorable. We'll post pictures.
We will. Okay, so we're on to our last cryptid for this episode.
Right. We're coming up to the time limit of our episode. So let's pop this.
It's your favorite cryptid.
Oh.
Are you ready? Pukwudgies.
Yes. Pukwudgies.
Pukwudgies.
It's a name.
If you have never heard of a Pukwudgie, you're in for it, man.
It's awesome. Get ready.
Pukwudgies. Originated in Delaware. That was the first sighting of the Pukwudgies.
Pukwudgie.
They are most people believe that Pukwudgies are specific to North America. Some people believe that they are an offshoot of fairies and sprites. That maybe
a sprite, not a fairy.
Yeah, there's 2 different origin stories for Pukwudgies. One of them is Celtic. The other one is Native American. I lean towards Native American just because there's more research there.
That's
so, Pukwudgies, and forgive me if I mispronounce a lot of things. I swear to God, I went to college, I swear. Wampanoag
She went to college.
Folklore, which is the Native Americans on the East Coast.
Yep.
They are
What was that?
Wampanoag?
Kind of dope. I like that.
I know I'm not saying it right.
If you're not,
forgive
I like the way
me,
that sounds.
Pretty please, with no sarcasm whatsoever.
Wampanoag.
If someone could teach me how to say some of these words correctly,
I couldn't.
Right. Little grassmen, Pukwudgies.
My relatives? We're small people.
2 to 3 foot tall. Just that's
Grandma.
it. Known to be not just very even-tempered, unless you annoy them, and then they are described as little grumpy men, Like, they will mess you up, gremlin style, if you annoy them. But if you don't annoy them, like if you don't try and mess with them or their habitat, you're fine. You just are in existence with the knowledge that there's little grassmen in your area.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Here's the thing. They've been seen throughout the East, especially in places that are known to have Native American presence still.
All right.
Kind of in the woodlands and the grasslands.
So they're just tiny
people. Men. Pukwudgies are described as men. They're described as having these long,
like dwarves where you can't tell the difference.
See, that's what I think too. Long beards that cover up like their torsos all the way down almost to their feet.
What is there just some really small people?
Right. Here's the thing.
All
of the descriptions are gnomes. Like the images remind me of gnomes and grass skirts and long beards.
Sounds like a gnome.
Right?
Yeah.
And they're just doing their thing. They're just out there,
living their best life.
Living in the forest.
Eating mushrooms.
Humanoid grass people.
Maybe they spawned from the mushrooms.
Maybe.
Yeah, it's a weird thought on that. Like, if they spawn from mushrooms, maybe they are all males.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Spore people.
Ooh. It's kind of scary. That's like some Resident Evil village.
But they grow beards, so they have to be mammals.
Good point. And they're described as people.
They're described as men.
Men.
Little,
straight up
grumpy men.
It's got to be it was just a race of small people. And it wasn't just people that are like 3 feet tall.
Right? Maybe it was.
There's people that are 3 feet tall.
Yes, there are.
So, how do you know it wasn't just a group
But
of
Pukwudgies are one of those things that, like, every now and then you just get another sighting. Just randomly. And it's not just the East Coast anymore. There have been sightings here in Indiana.
Spreading.
Here in Indiana, we have this place that's called Mounds State Park. It is a Native American burial site. It is just a massive mound. And when I say mound, I don't think you understand unless you've seen it.
They are tiny mountains.
If you just imagine completely flat land and then just in the middle, a hill for no reason, and not a small hill. It is a massive hill. These are where the sightings have happened.
Huh.
Because now the area around that, it's not field. It's there's woodlands out there now.
Yeah.
They just keep the area around the mound and the mound itself free of trees. And there's tons of other mounds that are in the Midwest and on the East Coast and even throughout the rest of Northern America. And I'm sure it's a worldwide phenomenon where you don't actually realize that that's what that is anymore because it's got brush and overgrowth and trees on it now. A 50-year-old tree is still a really big tree.
Very big tree.
So when these Native Americans created these burial mounds, 200, 300 years ago.
What if those spawned the Pukwudgies?
The burial mounds?
Yeah.
Like, what if Pukwudgies are just a race of small people that are specifically there to protect the burial mounds?
Because no one dares to mess with them. Have you noticed that? No one will dare to mess.
Yeah, you don't mess with a Pukwudgie. They will mess up your life.
Well, no one dares to mess up the burial mounds.
Right.
How there's vandalism at cemeteries and everything. No one will mess with those burial mounds. I've never seen anyone mess with one of those.
No.
People don't even like to walk on them.
The reason why people even knew that they were there is that when forest clearing started for farmland, which I'm sure people knew that before, but they didn't realize the amount of mounds that happened is when they went to start planing down the farmland to flatten it out. They realized that mounds are just like burial places of layers of these people's ancestors.
That's something you don't want to get into.
And so even here there's a mound in Clay County. Yep. I don't know if I told you that.
Yeah.
You've seen it. It's in the middle of a cornfield.
Yep.
Where you're just like, why? There's a hill And what it looks like for somebody that doesn't know. It's covered in trees. It's got all kind of bushes and everything on it.
It looks like a turtle shell.
It does. It looks like a turtle shell.
Like a giant turtle shell.
But what they realized when they went to flatten out this field was that particular hill was a mound. And so they have to keep it.
Good.
So that mound is protected, but unfortunately none of the land around it is. So it's just a mound in the middle of a cornfield.
Well, and getting rid of those would be the same as getting rid of like
a cemetery.
Well, we need a cornfield, so your cemetery's leaving.
Yeah.
It's not right.
No, not even slightly.
But it is odd though that the sightings take place around the mounds. So I'm wondering maybe.
Right? Mounds.
It's a big world. A lot of weird stuff.
Maybe one of these days we can actually do a podcast straight from Mound State Park.
We could do that.
And then we'll... Pukwudgie sightings.
Pukwudgie sightings.
They're fantastic. If you get a chance, look up the Pukwudgies.
Yep.
It's interesting. They're better than even I can describe them. Yeah. Because I'm sure when I describe them, I'm describing your grandpa in a nursing home that happened to shrink.
That got out.
He's lost his pants. He has fashioned himself a grass skirt. He has let his beard go.
Yep.
He's very grumpy. And this is his hill. Stay off of his hill.
It's a new form of stay off my lawn.
And he's decided his name is now Pukwudgie.
All right. Well, we want to thank everybody for listening today. Stay tuned. There's going to be more episodes.
If you haven't yet, go over to our Facebook and give us a like and a follow. Give us suggestions from what you want us to talk about. We are still an oddities and weirdo podcast. We just stuck with the cryptids today because we know that's everyone's favorite.
And our cat's getting their sign on today.
Yeah. The cats definitely want to tell you goodbye.
Yes. From the bottom of their claws. So we say good day.
Adios.